And dude, 90 days to have 4 closed and 8 pendings, that's just insane, man. What is possible in your first 90 days at a new team in real estate? Here with Luis in his first 90 days, 4 closings, 8 more pendings, and 24 appointments.
Yes, sir.
In 90 days.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Dude, first of all, congratulations. That's phenomenal.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Man, a lot of people, especially in today's marketplace, are struggling, right? And I just think I would like to just kind of unpack with you, just go have a conversation around how have you been so successful so quickly in today's marketplace?
Shoot, man, today's marketplace, honestly, just follow your path, right? Your first day I came in, you laid it all out. You let us know, like, hey, this is what you need to do if you want to see success. At first, like, I ain't gonna lie to you, you saw I chuckled. I'm like, ain't no way is that simple. But I took that and I made it. I treat the job like a 9 to 5. I come in at 9, leave at 5, and make sure that during those hours I'm as productive as possible. And yeah, if you treat it like a 9 to 5, it will treat you like a 9 to 5. And then I guess the secret weapon: stop selling people, just get to know them, really get to know the person, really get to know why. And then next thing you know, their why turns into that dream home as to, they give you more explanations and stuff. And then when it gets down to the showing, we narrow it down to our top 3 picks, and then that why will come back. And because you've already built that rapport, next thing you know, the house sells itself.
Man, it just reminds me of like one of the many reasons I think you've kind of catapulted here at MSREG is because we're culture first. And dude, you fit in day one as just part of the family. And what you just described there was your ability to build relationships with your clients. I think a lot of people struggle, and I hope this isn't the listeners out there, but I think a lot of people struggle with what I call commission breath. And they try to get the sale and they try to sell people because it's what's best for them instead of saying, I'm here to help you, I'm here to guide you and lead you so you can do what's best for you and your family. And I think when you shift that gear, people feel it's authentic, genuine, and real, and then you can have results like the Lisa's at.
Oh yeah, it's great. Think about it from this perspective, man. Like when you get a sales call, like you already know what the conversation is going to be about, right? And 9 times out of 10, people already have their guard up. They don't really want to even entertain it. But when you start having a conversation as to, hey, yeah, I know you saw this home, but why? Why do you see that home? Like, what's your vision for that home? Like, are you trying to, grow a family? Do you have a family right now? You need that extra bedroom. If you like, I hate neighbors, I need space, then that turns into a small conversation. The next thing you know, I have a client that we start talking about golf. And the next thing we're like, he's like, I want space because he's like, I got some weather dissolvable golf balls that can fix I was like, oh yeah, man, I play golf too. I suck, but you know what? Yeah, we can get it. So, and like I said, next thing you know, that turned into a 15-minute conversation. Then that turned into, I was going to go check out a place. The next thing you know, he's on the contract.
I think it's so good. And it sounds so simple, but so many people overcomplicate it, right? They're just a person on the other end.
That's it.
And if you just remove your agenda and you just be authentically you, be genuine, you make a connection with a human, great things can happen. Because the reality is, especially in our organization, I just had a meeting this morning, we create over 1,000 hand raisers per month for our agents, that are like people saying, hey, I need help. Can you help me with my real estate needs? I'm interested in this. I'm interested in that. I'm curious about that. And so those are the people that you're calling, which certainly helps. So we don't have to question like, hey, are they interested in real estate? We already know. And so if we just assume they're interested in real estate and just throw that agenda out the window, but we connect with them as a human and see what we can do to, what about that property are they interested in? Why did that property interest them? Instead of, hey, do you want to go see this? Hey, this is the price point. Hey, have you talked to a lender yet? All these sales stuff that just throw people off. You just get to know the human and it makes a big difference.
Because trust me, you doing all those things, you're not the only one, as I'm sure they've heard from since they decided to Google real estate in X, Y, and Z area.
Yep.
So, but what sets you apart is the conversation that you have with these people, right? Because they will remember, oh yeah, I talked to that one dude about golf, as opposed to it's like, oh yeah, I spoke to 20 different nerds about like money and this and that and lending, and I stood out.
Yep, it's building a relationship, right? It goes back to relationships. Man, I want to pivot. 4 closing in your first 90 days, 4 closed, 8 more pending, and 25 appointments set. someone's watching this and maybe they're thinking about getting into real estate, maybe they're at a different company, maybe thinking of making a move, or maybe they're just kind of stuck in their business, and what would be some advice that you could help them get some traction in their business that you have used to get the results that you've had?
Honestly, just it really does boil down to two things, and I know you've always talked about it, right? But environment and mindset, like it really does come down to those two things. Because before MSRG, I wasn't another real estate company. It was newer, right? We were still trying to figure things out. But my broker at the time, she's phenomenal, and she always drilled, to have a proper mindset. Real estate is not for the faint of heart, because you will get cussed out, or you will get hung up on, and if that stops you, maybe you need to have some other inner conversation within yourselves to see if real estate's for you. But if you're open-minded into it, and she always said coaching, that's honestly what led me here. To begin with, the coaching here is absolutely fantastic. You won't get that anywhere else in the environment. Everybody, although, believe it or not, like in the next room, everybody's an agent, we're all competing, but I've never been somewhere where it doesn't even feel like a competition. It feels like, yo, if I can do this, why aren't you doing it? Like, hey, you can do better. And, big shout out to Miss Jeanette, dude. Like, she's always keeping me honest, and she's always like pushing me to be better, honestly. And just having people like that in your corner, that's that environment that you thrive in. Like, you don't want to be somewhere where you're competing with, with one. I've seen some offices around where they're competing against their own broker, and it's like, that's the person supposed to lead you. Why are you competing with them? No, you're competing with your own peers, and there's bad blood between that own office. Like, sure, nah, man, like you don't need none of that. Like,
well, I think that what you're describing is a quote unquote typical sales environment.
Yeah,
and to each their own, right? I just think that we choose to do it differently, and I think that what you're sharing is you've seen the rewards of an environment because you're open-minded, you're willing to learn, you're willing to take action on what you learn. The coaching has really helped you.
Oh yeah,
because those same things. The environment of like-minded people, I always say it all the time, a rising tide rises all ships. So yeah, we are better together, and that's the power of our team. And so I think all that stuff together kind of accelerated your learning path. And dude, 90 days to have 4 closed and 8 pendings, that's just insane, man.
For sure, man. Thank you.
On top of that, what is this little belt here, and what does that mean to you?
Oh yeah, man. So it's kind of a short story on this. Very first moment I walked in, after interview and everything, I walked in and I saw that in someone's desk. Me being as competitive as I am, again, everybody knows I'm highly competitive, even if I suck at something. So, I was still trash talking. Still try to be better, but I always saw that belt, and every day I was walked in, I was asked, like, what is that belt? What is it? Like, why? How can I get it? How can it be mine? And you know what I mean? And that was my thing. And they always say, it's a script battle. We always do script battles during our quarter state of the company. You go against each other to see who performs the script at, off of mine and stuff. And I said, bet. Okay, bet. So the moment the championship came available, I think Matt did it on purpose. I think he did it on purpose because, man, I looked at that thing every day, and then Matt took it away for like almost a month. Man, I was like, dude, why? But that motivated me. So then when the script battle came about and then they called me, I was the first person to say, yes, who am I going up against, when, where? I will be there. And I won. You're now looking at the MSRG script champion. And no, I'm not allowed losing that belt, guys. So I love it forever. I love it.
Well, I think we have some fun here too, right? Obviously, and there's, I think, healthy competition, and that belt is, to me, like, we have all kinds of awards and recognition for amazing people that we have here, but to me, to earn that belt, you got to step outside your comfort zone, and you got to stand in front of your peers, and it's person versus person, going over something uncomfortable, trying to overcome objections in front of your peers and voted on by your peers. It's worthy of a belt because it's super uncomfortable. And for you to jump in at the very first one, you had opportunity, and to win, man, it's pretty impressive.
Oh yeah, man. And I would give a little kind of side note on that, and my wife will testify to it. When I first started and they said I needed to memorize script, to me it was like a script. I have to be scripted. Like, I can't just be myself. So to go from somebody that didn't really quite believe in scripts but knew that they worked to allow them, I consider myself a script champion. It's a script.
Well, that's because most people misunderstand what scripts are.
Yeah.
Right? Get a little coaching here for everyone. that I don't. For those that say scripts don't work, they're right, because if you just read from a script, it doesn't work. But if you internalize the script and you turn it into a talk track and you turn it into a way to guide a conversation or lead a conversation, that's where the magic happens. Which what you shared of building a relationship and not being salesy is part of our script. There's questions that you have learned to ask that help build those at a deeper level to help you set more appointments or to build better relationships with your people. And so that is a script. It just doesn't sound scripted, because when you're scripted, it doesn't work.
Yeah, and honestly, to add on to that too, like to kind of pivot off of a different topic, like honestly, I have been successful because of my environment and everybody around me. Like honestly, I took my buyer's presentation from Morgan, like I learned a lot from her. Then buying presentations from Jeanette, just picking her brain a lot, just being in the office. Like I said, the 9-to-5 mentality, right? 9-to-5 mentality, being here constantly, picking everybody's brain. And you said it once, and you actually say it quite a bit. Success leaves clues.
That's right.
And I just, follow those clues, man. Follow those clues.
Too many people want to outsmart the clues, though, right? And so I want to unpack something that you said. When he says 9 to 5, I'm going to make some assumptions, and maybe I'm wrong, but he doesn't just work 9 to 5. What he's saying is when he shows up at the office, by the way, in the middle of all this, he also just had a second child, right? So he's still doing all that. He probably still seems a little tired. He's a new dad tired, right?
A little bit.
But so in the middle of all of that, and it blows my mind. When he says 9 to 5, what he means, and correct me if I'm wrong, if I'm off base here, but how I interpret that is that when you show up to the office, you're here to work.
That's it.
Right? It doesn't mean we don't have fun. It doesn't mean we don't cut it up and joke. But also, it's time to we got work to do.
Yeah.
We got people to help. We got lives to change. I got things to learn. I got families to serve, community to serve. And whenever you're here and you're actually working with intent in that 9 to 5, that's what makes all the difference.
Oh yeah, don't get me wrong, guys. It doesn't mean I'm going 1,000% 9 to 5. He is right. There's moments where we're just joking around in the office. We'll have a little wind down after a heavy prospecting hour, and we can see it. We kind of piggyback off each other. But it's the mentality of doing things with intent, right? Yes, I know I said earlier I don't try to sell people, but at the end of the day, selling homes is what pays my bills, right? So, but what I'm trying to get at here is if you remove that aspect, make it your own, and then realize that this is who you need to be to better those people's lives, and then at the end of the day, you get rewarded with a paycheck. Not only is it a very morally satisfaction just goes through the roof, but then when you get that paycheck, it's also you're like, oh sweet, cool, I can get that new driver,
maybe it'll fix that slice of yours.
It's getting there.
So, dude, I know you're not all about the money, but I think it's important, right?
Yeah.
I think that, and I don't know what you want to share and what you don't want to share, but right before we started recording, you had shared something with me about what your wife had saw when she's a part of your business, right? She's your biggest cheerleader. And she was going through one of our systems that shows your pendings, what that commission looks like. What was that conversation like with you and your wife?
Oh man, so first and foremost, big shout out to Marissa. She's my rock. Honestly, you gotta have people in your corner who's gonna help you out. She keeps my calendar accountable. She'll be like, hey, don't forget you gotta do this and this and that. And be like, oh, great. Yeah, you're right. So, sorry. Back to it. So last night or the night before, I was kind of making sure all my stuff is situated and things like that. Like Matt said, we did just have a baby, so I have just been kind of doing it part-time a little bit more because it's been a lot of tireless nights. But either way, so we saw with my pendings that I have, which they should close within the next 30 days, I had over $1 million in volume pending and GCI of about 15,000
in your pocket.
Yeah, and I'll be honest, I was just work. My wife will tell you I'm a tunnel vision kind of guy. I need to get things done before I even look at anything else. But she stopped me for a second and says, hey, have you noticed that? And I said, notice what? I got to do all these paperwork. I got to do this and that. And then she brought it back and I was like, holy cow, it hit me. Holy cow. And if this is something I can do,
dude, that's out for your first 90 days.
Yeah. I can replicate it. And if I can do it, my mentality has always been this because my parents always raised me that way. If someone can do it, so can I, right? Like you said, that all it takes is that one person, right? So if I can do it in the right environment with the mindset that I have, you can do it too, honestly. You can pick it up and just do it. you know?
Man, how did that moment, when you soaked that in with your wife, how did that moment feel? To know that, like, holy cow, we're going to make that amount of money in a month.
Honestly, I'm still getting kind of goosebumps on it, man. Like, it's unreal. I never, like, dude, like, I've worked some jobs, you know, and I worked for the Denali National Park. It took me 2 months to make $15,000. The fact that I'm doing this in a month.
And you're just getting started.
And I'm just getting started.
And you just had a baby.
Yeah, man. Like, yeah, it's possible, guys. It's doable. The man is right. The man is right. Like, that's all I'm gonna say. Like, at first, I will tell you, I laughed. I was like, wait, it's that easy. You're right.
I want to clarify, number one, I'm not right. He's doing the work. And it requires someone that is open-minded, that is coachable, to actually lean into our environment is the power, not me. And to lean into that environment, be open-minded, coachable, take the actions, watch your game film, do the things, all the things that you're doing. And what's really cool for me to see is just to see the growth that you continue to have. And it's like you said it, man, is if you can do it, other people can too.
Oh, easy.
And I think there's a lot of people out there. And one of the reasons I wanted to do this video is just to showcase you and congratulate you, man. You're amazing, and it's super proud of you. And I know this is just the beginning for you, but I also think there's probably somebody watching out there that may be struggling or maybe thinking about a new career. And I just want to give them that encouragement, man, that give real estate a shot. Look around your environment, have a conversation with us, because if you have a mindset like Luis, if he can do it, he said it, you can too.
Oh yeah, easy, guys. Like, hey, there's nothing about me that makes me special. There's nothing about me that makes me different. I'm just disciplined. I get my things done. Believe in the process, and even when things get tough, just keep going. Like, at the end of the day, like my dad said it once, and I can always live up to it. My dad says, only you will stop you from being you. And I used to laugh at it, but now as a 30-year-old man, it's like, he's right. The dude's right.
That would make sense.
It makes perfect sense. Like, yeah, but yeah, I know I'm only scratching the surface now.
Yeah.
So I like to see how it looks a year from now.
Dude, I can't wait. Well, Luis, dude, thank you so much for taking the time to share this. I know you got a super busy schedule. You got that brand new baby girl at home.
Yeah.
And I know you need some sleep, so I appreciate you taking the time for being here, sharing with everyone. And guys, if you watch this and you can relate to any of Luis's story, or if you know him, number one, just reach out and congratulate him. Tell him you're proud of him. This dude has worked his tail off, and he's accomplished amazing things, and I know he's just scratching the surface. But also, if you're someone out there that can relate to this, and you're looking for an opportunity, you're looking for an alignment with the right kind of people like Luis, like the amazing team that we have here, we are looking for the people who are looking for us. And so reach out, see if we may be a good fit for you. We are in the business of changing lives here at Matt Smith Real Estate Group. We just happen to do that through real estate. You've heard a little bit of Luis share how his life's already changing and transforming the first 90 days. Maybe yours could be next. We'll talk to you soon.